The picture on the front of this is from, well, I posted it right after the last time I ever saw Natalie Bollinger. It was my birthday, October 18th, 2016. That was the last time I saw Natalie. I never asked where she was, never asked who she was with. Why is that? Because I'm not a fucking stalker. On my birthday, that's the last time we ever saw each other. We went to where Natalie's sister wanted to go. We went to Elliot's Coffee Grounds. Natalie told me her and her sister were fighting over a boy. It happens. Now let's talk about world events here. Natalie Bollinger's story is a world event, just so you know. You can hear it in Russian, you can hear it in the Middle East, and you can probably find a version in Hebrew. Natalie Bollinger is a lot more popular than you might think, and as well she should be. Her story needs to be told, but so does mine. Because here's the thing, her story is not being told. Her predators are the only ones left alive. It is only their stories that are being told. And her predators are my predators too. Do you not get that? What, you think all of these people just picked Natalie Bollinger and exclusively and only Natalie Bollinger to do fucked up shit too? You really think that's the way it works? No, these people who are predatory towards her, it's because being fucking predatory is in their fucking nature. I'm a lot easier to take advantage of than Natalie was. I'm also a lot more intelligent with a lot more experience, a lot more accumulated knowledge. She was 19 when she died. I turned 43 yesterday. Nope, other stupid numbers. You like these yet? This is what not allowing someone their basic human rights results in. Harm against innocent people. The United States people are disgusting because this is exactly what they do, especially if it's a male. The situation I find myself in now is it the first times that I had to go to the police. It was alone. And so the police didn't do their jobs, didn't think they had to, didn't care. They just assume if you're homeless, you're a bad person, they can do whatever the fuck they want. There's no good cops. You cannot be a police officer and a good person. It's not possible. Art Sloan typed lots of phone calls. Yes, Mr. Art. You know who mosab Hassan Yousef is, right? His dad helped found Hamas.
Morning.
Nice day for fishing, ain't it?
Did you get one? Catch one last night?
No, sir. I caught a whole raft of shit. I caught some youngins screaming the N-word almost half a dozen times at me last night.
Yeah.
They were tossing something at my vehicle. I heard it bounce off my vehicle, but I didn't see who threw it or see which direction it came from, or even what it was they threw.
Somebody threw a couple pine cones at my tent last night. I think it was a Sasquatch.
You've been hanging out with Nick again?
No, I just been hearing all these stories. Everybody's listening to Sasquatch stories around here. So.
Oh. Right? Everything here is fucking Sasquatch themed. They even got this thing for the bathrooms. It's got, the little man logo and the little woman logo. And next to it, it's got a Sasquatch in front of the urinal. So the first one's the man logo.
Right.
And the second one is a woman logo also standing in front of a urinal. Right? And one of them's looking over the other one. And Sasquatch is looking over and he's got this little thought bubble above his head and it says, whatever, just wash your hands.
Right. You like that one, huh?
I do.
Yeah, I would say that female Sasquatch definitely stand up and pee. I'm not sure if they have a Johnson or not, but I know they stand up and pee. They squirt. They're squirters. That's where the women that squirt. That's what their lineage is, Sasquatch. Because that's what Sasquatch women do. They squirt. They're squirters. It's a crazy thing out there. There's a lot of
that might be funny to the right crowd. I'm just not the right crowd. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Some of your humor's funny as fuck.
I didn't think I was trying to be funny. What I was trying to do is just tell you that this is the kind of stuff that's out there and discussed, and not on Art Bell late at night. It's actually discussed openly and over a cup of coffee over here at that little coffee shop over there the old timers sit at.
Yeah, over at McDonald's, they sit there and talk about killing homeless people with illegal firearms.
Okay, right?
It's Tillamook.
Where's
The McDonald's down there. You hire as the manager, but this is a bunch of racist white guys that sit in the back corner and talk shit.
Oh, the guy
She's
that
stuck
has the
over there
tattoo
by
on
all
his
the
head.
machines. Yeah, that's Nick. He's general man. The guy with he's got a spider tattoo on his head, and then he's got Aryan Brotherhood tattoos.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're in prison, you got to go some way. You're not going to join the Brotherhood, the black guys. So you got to join the white.
Oh,
guys.
dude, if I was in prison and he was my cellie, I'd fucking rent him out for soups and stamps. No joke. Soup and stamps.
Yeah.
Ramen noodles.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yes. I could probably get 2 soups and a stamp for his ass.
I just had 2 soups.
See, I'm gimpy and I have like 0% chance of beating him in a fight. The only reason that I would own him if he was my roommate is because he'd be afraid of going to sleep.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I've been sleeping with one eye open since I've been hearing all the Sasquatch stories. I've been paying attention. I hear they like to wander down out of the mountains around 2 a.m. looking for things to throw at people living in tents, and that's why all the tweakers are up. They don't want to go to Sasquatch with you.
It's Sasquatch. See, I knew you were gonna fucking break eventually. You just couldn't fucking keep a straight face. All right, you almost passed yourself off as a Nick, but no, dude, you just couldn't help yourself.
Yeah, I laugh at my own jokes. That's what makes them funny to me.
My chain isn't that long, so when you yank on it, you don't really have to tug much. I got a hell of a sense of humor, but I was waiting for a punchline. I'm like, this is a long fucking delivery. He's gonna crack up before I get the point.
I gotta go turn to my cans, man.
All right, be safe.
All right, be careful out here.
I'll pretend to.
All right, good for you.
All right, now let's take a look at this. Art Sloan type, not a clue. All right, so mosab, Hassan Yousef, he was being groomed to be the next leader of Hamas. Hamas is a religious movement. A lot of people don't get that. They want to make the entire Middle East a Islamic state, a religious state, based entirely on their version of the Quran. And their version of the Quran says that their military objectives are more important than human lives. Their God says, anybody who's not on your side, you slaughter them wholesale. Hide behind your own people. It's fine. It's war. So this guy, not only did he leave Hamas after being groomed as leadership, having the best of everything that there was to have in the Gaza Strip. And you might say there's not much. Well, that depends on who you are. Iran sends billions of dollars to the Gaza Strip. And of course, not all at once. But this guy was with Hamas. He said that he was treated like a prince. He was being groomed to be the next, well, religious figurehead of Hamas. And he switched sides because they don't care about the Palestinian people. They use the Palestinian people. They use the Palestinian people to try to get attention for their cause. Now, this guy switched sides. He went over to Israel's side. He also converted to Christianity, which I don't agree with, but I don't disagree with. Depends on if he's a real Christian or one of the Christians I know. I know the type of Christians that belong in handcuffs more often than the type that go to heaven. A man of the cloth has something to hide behind. It's a reputation. If you've got a bunch of pious monks at a monastery, and they're all known for being pious monks, right? All the people of their religion are known for being pious. You go in there, you get a job as a monk, so you can have access to people who are going to just believe that you're pious. Many, many good Catholic priests throughout the ages, right? But then we've got the child molesters who are into little boys. They put on the same black shirt and the same white collar. One guy told me his experience with the Catholic Church and with trying to turn in the priest who molested him. He said when he sees that little dash of a white collar sticking out, kind of reminds him of Hitler's mustache on a negative photograph. Well, I guess that's one association. Not all priests are child molesters. Not all priests rape little boys. Matter of fact, it's because most priests don't rape little boys. Most priests are supposed to be known for being pious, are they not? It's because of that the child molesters get away again and again and again and again just by joining the cloth. It's another terminology for a religious person, a priest, a preacher, possibly even a rabbi or an imam. All these Christians that are hateful towards Jews, their religion comes from Judaism. The Old Testament is Judaism. Slightly reinterpreted. Islam, same thing. This whole sons of Abraham thing, there's a reason for it. They're all religious. Their religions all come from the same place, claiming to be the same God. Hamas doesn't see it that way. And it sees any of its own people who are not actively combating as expendable. South Park made a joke about America hiding behind black people. Operation Human Shield, Operation Hide Behind the Darkies. You guys remember that? Very racist episode. Matter of fact, that one little part right there got so much attention from the media and from social media. Now this feller, I'm gonna post in the description at the bottom here at the end of this video. I'm gonna post an interview with this feller from about 5 hours ago. He talks about many of the same things that I talk about. He also talks about things that are very dangerous. When he talks about putting gas in the tunnels, things of that nature to take out Hamas, like he was raised with Hamas's agenda. If he hadn't switched sides, he'd be in charge of Hamas right now. Now imagine if he'd have stayed there and changed it entirely. Well, then people in Hamas would have been unhappy with him. He would have been unpopular, and he would have been dead quick. He said he was treated like a prince. We've got many examples throughout our history. Our history, the history of the world. Many princes and kings dethroned by their own people for doing things that were unpopular. The ancient Egyptians, the ancient Sumerians, the Romans did this, the Greeks. Oh yeah, it's a very popular practice. It's like if a Catholic priest named Martin Luther decides he's gonna staple up a bunch of points of issue that he has with the Catholic Church and Catholicism in general. What's the Catholic Church gonna do to that man? They're gonna burn him at the stake as a witch. Right? Man can be burned at the stake as a witch or a heretic. Although Martin Luther was not the first Protestant martyr, the men who tried to introduce the book of Job, see, they had an election to decide what goes into the modern Bible many hundreds of years ago. An election. They wanted to canonize the Bible. They had to go through multiple versions of some of those books. That's right, different versions. And decide which ones they wanted the most. And also, there's one book of the Bible that's very controversial because it's not in the Bible. And the name of that book is the book of Judas. That's right, Judas Iscariot. Have any of y'all ever read the book of Judas? They have found the book of Judas in Dead Sea Scrolls. So, Obviously, with the Dead Sea Scrolls, most of them predating the canonization of the modern Bible, it makes you wonder, who wrote the book of Judas? Did Judas write it before his death? Was he writing it the whole time? Did he have family that wrote it? Who wrote the book of Judas? It's the only one that even comes close to making any part of the Bible make any sense. Anyway, we'll go to the picture on the front of this for a second. That was after the last time I ever saw Natalie Bollinger. I had a busted phone, a busted car, and my body was fucking busted. I was broke as fuck. Physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially. I was broke. And I couldn't have left there if I wanted to. For somebody who's autistic, we have to see this shit coming, and so do our friends and family. They have to care enough to understand how at risk we are, instead of taking advantage of us because of the very reasons that we're at risk. Who are the people most likely to neglect and abuse us? Our own families. Myself and Natalie had to deal with that. Lucky for her, she died. Matter of fact, she stole my suicide. The way she died, Joseph Michael Lopez blowing her brains out. I'd been begging people to do that to me for over a year. By the time Joseph Michael Lopez did that, I'd been begging my friends, even strangers. People would come up to me and tell me that they wanted my car. I'd tell them I'd give them my car, sign it over, title and everything. Free and clear, and even dig my own hole if they'd put a bullet in my head. Fuck this goddamn country and everyone in it. This yousef feller, he kind of outlines Hamas for you. Well, it kind of outlines the United States government for you, too. Difference is the United States government's religion is money and power. For Hamas, it's religion and power. What do they have in common? Power, domination, dominion over others. This is what governments do. Everyone should be allowed a place to live. Everyone who is born should be allowed a piece of property of their own just because they were born. Same as every squirrel should have its own. Oh wait, they do. Do the squirrels in your yard pay rent? Do they spend 40 hours a week collecting nuts for someone else? Only to get a fraction of those nuts back. The United States has become overrun with profiteers. People who don't want to do any work, they want to be middlemen. You've got the guy who makes the product. You got the lady who buys the product. Optimally, you want to be one of middlemen, right? You don't really have to do any fucking work. You just have to talk. Here we go. More harassment. A lot of people get angry at me for things that I had to do when they lied through their goddamn teeth at me. Now this Mr. Yousef, he turned his back on his own blood. His own blood. His own family. Because all they wanted to do was fucking hurt people. You get to hear a lot of the people who claim to be my friend say that they're going to help me. You get to hear about them talking about hurting people over and over and over again. That doesn't make me feel better. That makes me feel worse. I don't want these people killed. If I wanted them dead, they'd already be dead. You have any idea how easy it would be to kill Ted Bollinger or Alicia Bollinger? Do you have any idea how easy it would be to kill Scott DaCosta or Jared Hahn? It's a matter of setting your mind to it and getting on it. Obviously, I've let those people live. Obviously, even with as disgusting of things that these people have done, I'm still against killing. I'm still against carrying a gun. Don't get me wrong, I am for the Second Amendment, and I am for you guys carrying guns. But I'm also realistic about the situation that I'm in. I am a refugee in the United States of America, where we're given fucking billions in foreign aid. Billions we are giving out in foreign aid while our own people suffer. While the most at risk of our society are used to blame everything on. You say mentally ill and it's magically okay, isn't it? Just say mentally ill. Mentally ill, mentally ill. Oh. All right. It's Gary. He's headed to my storage now. It'll probably take him a few minutes. Woohoo! I suppose I should park a little closer up by the building, huh? Let's see. Jamie Jizzle type mentally ill in the land of the feathered serpent means you fucked. Yeah. Isn't that a Quetzalcoatl? The feathered serpent? Revered as a god in Central and South America. Yeah. Jamie Jizzle type diversity, equity, and inclusion, though. Yeah, there ain't none of that. We got people who got the right idea, in my opinion. But some people think my opinion sucks. Some people think that, well, if everybody was blonde-haired and blue-eyed, then we wouldn't have any reason to hate each other. Well, I wonder if there's any blonde-haired, blue-eyed Muslims that might have something to say about that to blonde-haired, blue-eyed Christians or blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jews or vice versa. So I get to listen to these goddamn religious nut jobs talking about their imaginary fucking friend. Yeah, this is their solution. Instead of following the law and instead of doing the right thing, something that a decent person would have automatically done, what do? They want to pull the whole give it to God bullshit. Are you fucking kidding me? Christians, good luck finding a Christian that actually believes in God. It's horrible that we call Christians Christians because they're not. Christian would follow in Christ's footsteps. Hell, I'm closer to being a Christian than nearly every Christian I know, for Christ's sake. Jesus fucking goddamn Christ. I mean, holy hell, what the fuck? A lot of people want to use religion as their excuse to be racist or sexist or for abusing their kids. Spare the rod and spoil the child. Fuck your religion. Also, I'm not sure if you noticed, but God kind of changes his mind every time there's a change in Pope. You notice that? So is it God who's making these decisions, or is it the Pope? Obviously, Pope isn't some Dalai Lama sort of thing where it's some reincarnated person who's been reincarnated 100 times and therefore, you know, basically like the lineage in the Avatar. You know that Korra used to be Aang. And Aang used to be a whole bunch of avatars that came before him. And they're all the same being, somehow, magically, sort of, in some weird way. It's not that way with a Pope. With a Pope, the next Pope was definitely alive during the reign of the last Pope. They're going to elect a new Pope. He's probably going to be an old man, more than likely. Now, the first time they ever did that, they burned men at the stake for wanting the book of Job to be in the Bible, just letting you know. That's not a popular story, is it? You don't hear that in Sunday school. Mm-hmm. Jamie Jizzle type, that's him. But also what America was called way back. Art Sloan typed, you're Jewish, right? No, I'm not. I'm a Russian, German, and Hebrew descent. But I got ancestors from all over the world. I'm a mutt. Jewish is the religion. Hebrew is the bloodline. Israeli is the nation. If you're Israeli, you're an Israeli citizen. If you're Hebrew, you're of Hebrew descent. If you're Jewish, you practice the Jewish religion. Judaism. My family are all active, what would I call them? Active atheists who are actively pretending to be Christian. Same as Natalie Bollinger's family. However, down my grandma Schwartz's bloodline, I would be considered Jewish or Hebrew or potentially even Israeli. My grandmother's bloodline on both sides. That means my mother's bloodline as well, and my father's, but that doesn't really matter. As far as the religion goes, the bloodline comes from your mother. So to answer your question, I know it's big and long. No, I'm not Jewish. I'm also not Christian. I'm also not Muslim. Can't rightly call myself atheist. I believe in the possibility of a God. But that's because my religion is science. What is science if not infinite possibilities? Imagine the resources we poured into the atomic bomb. Now imagine if we'd fed people with that instead. I better just drive. A lot of people tell me things like, you know, Sean, you should be nicer to these people that didn't keep their word and fucked you over. Because you never really know what they're going through. You'd be surprised. A lot of these people, I know what they're going through because I was there. Or I was told, oh, well, you would be surprised what some of these people have to go through. No, I really wouldn't. The thing is, most of them are surprised when they find out that not only am I going through the hell that I'm going through, but I can prove it. I just don't have any help. It's a lot of evidence to go through. And going to the police just results in me being threatened, harassed, bullied, intimidated, and sent to mental health. Fuck the police nationwide. There's no such thing as a good police officer. And those of you who want to say, oh, my dad was a cop, he's a good man. My uncle was a cop. My favorite uncle was a cop. Not all cops are bad. Really? That's your uncle. It's different. It's a different perspective. I'm sure there's plenty of Nazi SS soldiers who plugged Russian Jews in the back of the fucking head that had children who loved them. And they may have even loved their children. But they also saw Russian people, especially Jewish Russian people, as mongrels to be shot. I do have Jew girls. I did want to keep them, but I kind of had to shave them off here to help reduce the attraction from hateful Christian religious groups like the KKK. That's right, just like Hamas. The KKK tries to hide itself as a Christian group. Art Sloan typed, okay, my ancestors are from Europe. No offense, but have you ever thought about getting a beard trim? Fuck off. He typed that. That would be great if that happened. No more hunger on this planet. Right? We spend more money now than we did then on defense. And it's not actually defense, is it? We make offensive equipment. Israel leads the world in defensive equipment. Our explosive reactive armor that we're so fucking proud of. The Israelis came up with that. They've also had a system since 2011 that'll shoot an RPG right out of the air from a tank. Split second. Take me to Tillamook Sporting Goods.
Sure, Tillamook Sporting Goods.
Let's hope we can make it there. Oh, we've got another troll on here type.
Head east on 3rd
shit.
Street toward Ivy Avenue.
I do want to say that most of the folks here at the Safeway have been absolutely wonderful. Maybe it didn't start off that way, but you know, when people get to see it with their own eyes, it's a different story, isn't it? Thank you. that for a bit.
Turn left onto Pacific Avenue.
Anyway, at the end of this video, I'm going to post the link with Mr. Yousef. I agree with everything that he has to say, except for the sending Palestinian women and children from the Gaza Strip to Egypt. I think it's a better idea to let them into Israel. No offense there, but Egypt does not have a good track record with the Palestinian people at all.
800 feet, turn left onto Ocean Avenue.
They were smart enough to flood out the tunnels, but most of the tunnels went from Egypt anyway.
Take the second left onto Ocean Avenue, then turn left onto First Street.
Now, if Egypt is willing to allow humanitarian aid to go through their country, and they're going to allow the humanitarian camp to be set up, or multiple camps for the Palestinian people, as long as it's run by, well, international troops, because it's going to be armed. They're going to have armed troops if we can have something like that. No matter what nation it is under a situation, scenario like this. But something like the Red Cross, or some humanitarian organization being in charge of it instead of the Egyptian government. That's not to say that the Egyptian government can't put their troops there. It's their land. But you can't just drop them off on the Egyptians. That's more inhumane than leaving them in the Gaza Strip to get blown up. Here in the United States, we have a lot of refugees. What do we do with our refugees? We put them in prison. We incarcerate them for being refugees. That is for certain experience.
Take the next right onto River Drive. In 1,000 feet, turn right onto 3rd Street.
There's a million and one ways that these pieces of shit can use to deprive somebody like me of the resources that I need to turn in crimes that are committed against me. All they gotta do is call you mentally ill. And what do we do with trolls? We take a screenshot of this. Yep. And then we hide user on this channel. Holy hell. It took me longer than 10 minutes to get here. It took me 18, but it only took a couple minutes driving. Everything I do ends up being way slower than I'd like it to be. I mean, my body's falling apart like a fucking 80-year-old's, but I got the energy of a 20-year-old still. I still want to go do things, but my body is exhausted. My muscles hurt. Everything hurts. All the time. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, and a paycheck isn't enough for you to live on, and you're constantly spending all your money moving around all of your stuff so that you don't get it stolen, so that you can actually work on it. But you gotta, like, for here, for example, right? Second fucking floor. I cannot make it up the stairs that many times. It's not fucking possible. If I have to go work on that stuff, you have no idea how impossible it is to do that here. If I was on the first floor, that'd be fine, but none of the storage places around here have room. See, this is what happens when you victimize people out of their housing. When you victimize people out of their money. You just press false charges, and all of their money is fucking wasted until they're homeless. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, that's one fucking paycheck. One. You got to pay a $200 fine. You're going to lose your vehicle. You're going to lose your house or your apartment, your assisted living, whatever. All because as a disabled person, rather than assisting you with the things that you cannot do for yourself, they take advantage of it for profit. All the mandated reporters that I went to before Natalie was killed made me jump through the same hoops I'm forced to jump through everywhere I go. They make me jump through this for no fucking reason. If they force me to live there, then they can get some money from me being there. But they're not going to invest that money in me. That therapy doesn't help me. That just gets them money. It doesn't turn in any of my predators. It doesn't give me a fucking advocate. It doesn't do a goddamn thing for me except waste my time and my money and my resources to go. Well, they break the law. And then they whine and pretend like they're afraid of me. Well, they're not really pretending. They are afraid of me, and they have every reason to be. But not for the reasons they pretend. These people all know they have a very real chance of going to prison. It's not very enjoyable a thought, is it? If you were a sheriff, would you abuse your power as a sheriff so you don't go to prison? We've made it so police officers can do whatever they want. Priests had that power for centuries. That kind of power only attracts predators, which is why every single police officer in America is a predator. Every one of them. Y'all don't understand the difference between harassing somebody and speaking out, do you? What that guy who I just blocked from this channel was doing is called trolling. That's bullying. When you bully somebody on the internet, it's called trolling. You're trying to sow unrest. Well, sometimes there's unrest that needs to be had. A lot of people are dead because of the hatred and bias and stigma attached to the disabled, the homeless, and men. A lot of women are dead because of this too, though. If I had been heard, Natalie would be alive. If even one of my friends had actually helped me with any of the things that would have done something useful, instead of arguing with me, talking over me, and telling me some fucking pretty goddamn meme they read on Facebook. Jesus fucking Christ, it'd be nice if they'd stick their heads in the toilet and fucking flush it. And the worst among those are pretty white girls. They think everybody is served hand and foot. It's fucking crazy. One white girl was telling me that when she was having problems, she just sold some of her jewelry. Like, oh my God. Did you seriously just fucking say that? A shiny rock doesn't say I love you. It says I'm an idiot who wastes money on shit that isn't useful. You want a wedding? You want a wedding ring? Neither one of those are useful. And in the ways that they are useful, someone's getting used. Someone's getting taken advantage of. Take a look at the institution of marriage in America today. It's a death sentence for a man. For a man, getting married is like shooting himself in the foot. Because of the way that we teach women to treat men. The number of women that treat men horribly and then complain men are treating them horrible. Here's a question. If you yell at a man for 30 minutes straight and then you go and run and play victim when he raises his voice because he's tired of getting yelled at, which one of you two is the piece of shit? Good question. If you keep punching your boyfriend in the face and throwing shit at him that if it hits him could potentially kill him, and you refuse to leave his house, you're too busy hitting him and screaming at him and throwing things at him. If he pushes you out of his house, who's the bad guy? That situation happened to multiple men I know, including Dallas Richmond. The reason Dallas Richmond never called the cops when Harley Richmond was physically assaulting him and screaming at him and refusing to leave his house. The reason he never called the cops on her is because he was afraid, since he's got a penis, he'd be the one arrested. It's a good thing I recorded those situations, huh? Well, not so much. When he decided to get back together with her, it didn't matter what fucked up shit she did to me or to him. I just have to accept it. But the thing is, they kept on doing the same shit, both of them, getting drunk. He was always nice. He didn't yell at anybody except her. And the only reason he yelled at her was because she was doing such fucked up shit to him, like assaulting him, yelling at him, throwing shit at him, telling him he owes it to her because they got kids together. No, he doesn't. If you're a fucking shitty wife, he doesn't owe it to you to stay with your shitty ass. Then, of course, they're both alcoholics, so they fight over alcohol. Did Dallas Richmond beat on his wife for 30, or his ex-wife for 30 minutes? No. Did she beat on him for 30 minutes? Yeah. Was it 30 minutes of non-stop wailing? No, it was her hitting him, some screaming, her hitting him again, more screaming, her pushing him, more screaming, her throwing shit, more screaming. Sometimes she threw things that were soft. That was awful nice of her. Isn't that how we're supposed to look at it? She was 100% the predator and the assailant as well in those situations. Then she wanted to try justifying it by saying, oh, you don't know what he did. You don't know what he did in the past. Bitch, if you're going to keep on bringing that shit up as an excuse to be abusive to him, why are you trying to get the fuck back together with him? So you got a punching bag who can't fucking defend himself? That's fucking stupid. And it's stupid of Dallas, too. My life isn't your assumptions. My life isn't the slander that you heard. My life is hell. Hopefully, Gary gets here soon. might have sent a message that says, "Do you have an ETA?" I might grab a coffee if it's going to be a while. Because you never know. Sometimes somebody runs into an old friend, or the tire pops on the way down the mountain, or the wife is sick, or, any number of things can happen that make it a delay. I just don't want to be sitting here literally all day and hoping. Now, I'll always try to leave a little bit of leeway, People aren't generally going to help you out right away, especially if you're a male. But they might help you at their nearest convenience if they actually care about you. If you're a woman, you can make that time immediately, and people will understand. If you're at work, and your friend Linda calls you up and says that her husband just beat the living fuck out of her, and she's bleeding all over the place, and a couple of her teeth are falling out, yeah, your boss is probably going to let you go. Yeah, go help your friend. If it's a dude, no, you don't get to take time off of work for that. It's not like they beat up your kid. Men are at risk just because we're men. You get to hear about this humanitarian shit worldwide. Still to this day, it's women and children, women and children, women and children. While I'm waiting, I might have actually look up that skit. Let's see if I can remember it. I think it's if the Titanic sank in modern times. Or if the Titanic sank in... Here it is. This might be it.
The ship is sinking. Women and children onto the lifeboats first. That's a thoughts of. It's 2023, and I don't need a man to save me. Thank you. But you're gonna die. We literally have to... Sir, let me handle this. I'm fluent in Gen Z. Hey, Betch. The ship, it's giving Ohio, and the water, it's Dasani. Oh my god, I should have known your 5'7" ass wouldn't be able to drive this ship. And the food, it was mid anyways. Alfonso.
I'm 5'8".
And poor, so pick a struggle, right? Yeah. The ship is...
Alright, that wasn't it, but it's... Maybe this one.
The ship is sinking. Women and children onto the lifeboats first. That's a thoughts of. It's 2023, and I don't need a man to save me. Thank you. But you're gonna die. We literally have to sing. Sir, let me handle this. I'm fluent in Gen Z. Hey, Beth.
Oh, it's people reading the same thing and doing a skit over it. I'm looking for a very specific one. Guess I'm not gonna find it.
My God. Captain, The lifeboats are ready to go. Should we load the women and children first?
No, men and children first.
Excuse me, sir.
It's 2022, Private. A woman can handle a sinking ship just as well as a man can. And if you don't think so, you're a misogynistic asshole stuck in 2008.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, for the time being, I am requiring men and children only.
Are you kidding me?
It's 2022. This is what you wanted. You wanted to be treated equal to men? Well, this is how men are treated. Like
No, we don't. We just say that half the time. We don't actually believe in it. Yeah, we do. Come on, we're just as capable as men are. Shut up! I identify as a man. Hey, 2022. Jack, do you think I could open the doors?
2022, Rose. I wouldn't want to imply that you can't handle the ice cold water the same way a man could.
I think I'm dying, Jack.
I love 2022.
What a dick.
My God.
Captain, the lifeboats are ready to go. Should we load the women and children first?
No, men and children first.
Excuse me, sir.
It's 2022, Private. A woman can handle a sinking ship just as well as a man can. And if you don't think so, you're a misogynistic asshole stuck in 2008.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, for the time being, I am requiring men and children only.
Are you kidding me?
It's 2022. This is what you wanted. You wanted to be treated equal to men? Well, this is how men are treated. Like
No, we don't. We just say that half the time. We don't actually believe in it. Yeah, we do. Come on, we're just as capable as men are. Shut up! I identify as a man. Hey, 2022. Jack, do you think I could open the doors?
2022, Rose. I wouldn't want to imply that you can't handle the ice cold water the same way a man could.
I think I'm dying, Jack.
I love 2022.
God, that's fucking cold hard, ain't it?
Captain, the lifeboats are ready to go. Should we load the women and children first?
No, men and children first.
Excuse me, sir.
It's 2022, Private. A woman can handle a sinking ship just as well as a man can. And if you don't think so, you're a misogynistic asshole stuck in 2008.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, for the time being, I am requiring men and children only.
Are you kidding me?
It's 2022. This is what you wanted. You wanted to be treated equal to men? Well, this is how men are treated. Like
No, we don't. We just say that half the time. We don't actually believe in it. Yeah, we do. Come on, we're just as capable as men are. Shut up! I identify as a man. Hey, 2022. Jack, do you think I could open the doors?
2022, Rose. I wouldn't want to imply that you can't handle the ice cold water the same way a man could.
I think I'm dying, Jack.
Just about fucking explain it. Women treat us like shit and do it all themselves. They don't need a man. They can do it all themselves. Anything a man can do, a woman can do better. No. Build a house. Matter of fact, you don't even have to build the whole house. Just pick one trade. Maybe you pick cement. You pour your own basement. Somebody else could help you build a house on top. Maybe one of your friends decides to learn how to be a framer. Well, you can do the cement. She can do the framing. Then you both have useful skills. Useful skills. What's the difference between brandy and crimson? What's the difference between baby blue and sky blue? Who gives a shit? Who fucking gives a shit? I'm an artist, and here's what I have to say about it. Who gives a shit? Well, you want to have all this makeup to pretty yourself up, and you want to have the nicest, finest, most form-fitting clothing. You want to get the attention. Between you and the next girl, well, you want the attention. And if you're not the one getting attention, you're going to get jealous. A very human emotion. But no, girls don't get jealous. They get even, right? I don't know how many times I've heard that one. How even is it to destroy somebody's life? How even is it to destroy another woman's life because she's got a nicer figure than you? She wore a nicer dress than you. She has a better looking husband than you, or a better job, or a better car. And you tell yourself, why did she get that? I deserve that. I deserve that too. Why is she so much better than me? What makes her so much what makes her think she's so much better than me that she can drive around in a Mercedes? That's how it eventually ends up being translated in her head. And in many yours as well, both men and women alike. Jealousy is an ugly emotion. But we're supposedly made in the image of God, and God is a jealous God. It says so right there in the Christian book. Why will you have no other gods before him? For he is a jealous God. And jealousy is such a powerful emotion. It's a defining force and a deciding factor in nearly all of your lives in such horribly malicious ways. My older brother was mean to me all growing up. When I was about 15 or so, I thought about taking an art class. I was able to draw a better portrait in one night than my older brother was in months and months and months. He still hasn't surpassed that first picture that I sat down and spent a full 8 hours drawing. I stayed up all night. My older brother Eric was the golden child. He could do anything he wanted, and it was fine. So he learned how to socialize. He also did a lot of really fucked up while socializing as a youth. Things that I do. Then again, I wasn't allowed the same leeway that he was. My older brother could do no wrong. For me, being a better artist than him, when I told my mom I wanted to take an art class, she said, Eric's the artist of the family, but you might be an okay interior decorator. Hell, I'm probably the best damn portrait artist Chapel, Nebraska's ever produced, and I'm not even that good. But there have been a few of my productions that ended up almost photorealistic quality. Yeah. When I have the time to produce something nice, I can produce something nice, but it takes time. And the more you rush me, the more impossible it becomes to get it done. It's going to take time. So you have to understand it's going to take time. It's not like that when it comes to telling the truth or coming forward when your friend is being abused. That doesn't take time. It takes a good person who actually cares right then and there. A lot of the people at Safeway, I wholeheartedly believe that they would call the cops with me if it happened in the store. I believe if it happened in the store, they'd call it in regardless. And I believe they would stick up for me to the best of their ability. Now, if I'd have had someone like that when I first got here, we could have avoided the whole situation. See, that's the one defining factor right there. You need a friend or family member that actually cares. Forcing me to move literally hundreds, if not thousands of miles away from many of the people that could have helped me, cut me off from all of those resources and socially isolated me. Why is that? Because we teach Americans to be pieces of shit. Selfish pieces of shit at that. Who cares about sweatshops in India as long as you get your Prada backpack? Who gives a damn about human trafficking in Africa as long as Martha Stewart gets to sell her products? Who gives a holy goddamn about poor people in the United States when the United States government is busy testing its toys on poor people elsewhere? You really think they're going to give two shits about you? No, just shut up, go to the back of the fucking bus and let them fire their missiles. Get to the back of the bus while I fire my missile. Right? We always gotta give it a Russian accent and blame the commies. Don't forget to blame the commies. Communism, just like democracy, is a great idea on paper. Communism, same as democracy, breaks down immediately because people get jealous when they don't get what they want. They get vindictive and angry when they don't get what they want. And one of the scariest things about that is that we teach every woman to be that way. Many of these women that are nice to me today, and many of the women who also threw me away in the past, a lot of them admitted things that I shouldn't have had to be privy to. Holy hell. Like, really? You can do that to a man and then pretend like you're a good woman? Oh, well, I've changed. A lot of the women that I've known in my lifetime, like Jamie Curtis, for example, what does she say? She says, I hope my son never dates anyone like me. I understand why. I used to tell her son that nobody loves him more than his mom. With the way she ended up using and abusing the fact that she had a son. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. He was a lot happier and a lot better adjusted than most of the kids I knew, though. When I was growing up, I grew up with kids who had actual anger problems and beat on each other. While I was up there visiting Jamie last time, I got to play every day. I got to cook for him. Got to play Magic the Gathering. He watches the same shows on TV that I do. Reads some of the same books, even. Books I wouldn't have imagined he'd even thought to read. When he saw me, it'd been years since I seen him last, and he remembered me, and that meant so much. He's an adult now. Alright, hopefully Gary didn't get trapped in the mountains somewhere. Oh, he's still in the mountains. He must found a place that he could send a message from. Probably be about, I don't know. It's 20 miles, but it's 20 miles worth of mountain driving. And you end up slowing down and going back and forth on snaky roads. Oh, it says waiting until Gary is online. So yeah, he's probably going through the mountain passes right now. God, I'd like to get some sleep. I feel bad for going to anybody for help. That's how guys are taught, by the way. We're taught that we're not supposed to need help. Help is for women and children. We're horrible to men in this country. Now, when you've absolved certain people of any and all crimes they commit just because they have a power that allows them to do so, women have a position of power to do so just because they're women. Men don't have that power just because they're men. A woman's voice means more than a man's. And how many times have we heard women referred to as the fairer sex? Really? You consider that fair? How about, since it's your turn to cook this week, how about it be her turn to fix the porch, to assemble the swing, to change the oil? Now, I take a look at a Louis Vuitton bag the same way that I look at a bag of methamphetamines. You're addicted to stupid shit. That Louis Vuitton bag is about status. But it's your addiction. You're addicted to that status. You're addicted to the way that people think about you. It's important, isn't it? We don't live on a rock all by ourselves. It's also important that you know your own personal morality. And hopefully you never encounter a situation where you have to test it. You have to test your faith. Or you have to test your own humanity. A lot of people who claim they were going to help me sold out for so little. Destroyed evidence over so little. Christine Bouhit, yeah, she was gung-ho, wasn't she? But then she got housing, and the immediate thing that she did, immediately after getting housing, is bully me, throw me away, and destroy evidence. What a disgusting person. She'll sell out her friends, her family, and her morality for a place to drug herself to death, which is, by the way, what I said she was going to do. And, by the way, is exactly what she did. Christine Bouhit is a corpse. Yeah. She overdosed on fentanyl. I figured she'd probably overdose on heroin. She was addicted to heroin and meth. Same as Natalie Bollinger. She was also one of them women who tried telling me she thought she was in love with me once. No, you weren't. You were in love with the idea of me. You don't hardly know me. You only know me because when you want somebody to fucking bitch about your problems to, I'm always there. You only know me because when you want to hide from somebody, I'm always there. When somebody's trying to hurt you or kill you, I'm always there. And obviously they're not making much of an effort. Obviously it's people who want to get away with it. See, there's a difference between people who want to get away with it and people who are hell-bent and determined. Somebody who's hell-bent and determined to kill you, if the only way they can gain access to you is by walking into your work and having to go through all of the employees to get to your office in the back, yeah, someone who is hell-bent and determined will walk through that building and systematically kill every single person in it, just on the chance that they might try to do something to stop them from putting a bullet in you. Most people don't operate that way. Most people want to do it while you're sleeping, while you're alone, while you're in an alley. And of course, we've all had friends that want to tell us all their greatest ideas of how to kill people, right? Like, hey man, I got this great idea. So I got this uncle who raped my sister, right? I can't kill him because, well, too close, they'll catch me. So if you got somebody that you want killed, well, I'll kill the person that you want dead, and you kill the person I want dead. Problem solved. They'll never catch us. Yeah, really. Well, that doesn't sound very inviting. And it also sounds like a good way to get caught. Yeah. Now, how many people have voiced only violence and hatred as solutions for any of my problems? You know, Sean, if it was me. Well, if it was you in a house with a nice job and a body that still fucking works, you with a loaded firearm, yeah, that might work. For Candace Bonderon, if somebody came to harm her or her kids, maybe she would actually put a 45 between their eyes. But it seemed to me, for about 2 weeks there, that was her solution for literally everything. Answer was always, oh, I just shoot them. Well, that's fucked up. I'm also told that it's not illegal for these people to threaten to kill me and my friends and family. And I go, really? Watch what happens if I do it. I already knew it was illegal. It ain't the first time I threatened somebody's life. When I was in high school, I got tired of people threatening to kill me, so I threatened to kill them back. They didn't fucking like it and whined like mules. You know what else? I didn't kill any of them. And then, of course, you got the staff. They always say, oh, well, I got to see him do it. Well, I tell you what. If you're going to keep being that way, when you tell me, well, why don't you go to the teachers? Who says I didn't? They tell me they have to see it. Well, I tell you what. If I bludgeon you the fuck out of his nose, you'll definitely pay attention then. Son of a bitch decides that he's gonna shove me while I'm putting away chairs in a school assembly. Yeah, things might fucking suck for him. That was Zach Metcalf. What a dumbass he turned out to be. But then, after getting thumped just once, I only hit him once the whole fucking fight. Just once. After that, he was nice to me. From there on in. Never once have I had a problem with him since. Never once has he mouthed off to me, bullied me, disrespected me. Figured I'd... Oh, was that him? Oh. He'll probably message me as soon as he gets down the mountain. I'm gonna get something to drink while I'm here, though. I've seen you before.
You have a check for me?
Yeah, Colombia?
Yeah.
Victoria?
Perfect, thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks. All right, see you later.
On the bright side, that soda is fucking nasty. You know why your opinion doesn't matter? It's not based on fact. Fuck this goddamn country and everyone in it. I guess I can't find my scissors, which means I can't trim my mustache. That's right, though. Maybe burn it off with a cigarette or something. Who knows? It works. I would turn on my other phone so I could use the odometer on it, but I'm not going far enough to even reach the speed limit. I'm going like half a block, so. Like he didn't work worth a shit. Well, I guess I'm gonna light up a cigarette to trim my mustache with. smell great. Well, it worked on most of the major annoyances. Same as it'll probably take Gary a few to get here, so. Most of the stuff that I can't do for myself, it's because people won't let me. And you don't understand that because most of you don't have to. For you, you're able to do it yourself. So it's not a matter of people letting you or not. Well, actually it is. See, that's the thing, is that most people are going to make their flash judgments based on your looks. We had a lot of those little girlies in high school that were good figure, good face, knew they were pretty, knew it. And some of them, yeah, they had small jobs here and there. You know, the fast food summer job. The job down there bagging groceries for your first job at the grocery store. But those are also the girls that after high school didn't get jobs. They went out and hunted for husbands. And stupid husbands at that, who wanted to get ready, get all married at fucking 19 and 20 years old. So there's all these fat girls that I knew in high school that all went and got jobs. And after school, they still had jobs. These are fat girls. Nobody's gonna take care of them. Are you fucking kidding me? That's not to say that fat girls can't find love. It's not to say that fat men can't find love. That's to say that, well, when it comes to acceptable breeding material, which is what a lot of women are attracted to and a lot of men attracted to, we're hardwired to it. We want to breed with the best genetic breeding stock that we can. Doesn't it take the humanity out of it when I say it like that? It comes down to being equilateral and healthy, according to our understanding of healthy anyway. let's talk about man instinct for a while. So women who are on birth control versus women who aren't. Women who are not on birth control. As you know, all humans have deficiency in their genetics. That's why we breed the way that we do. Flush out the deficiencies. Some of those deficiencies had a reason for them at one point in time, I'm sure. So a woman who is not on birth control, she can smell a man's sweat and tell if that man, if his genetics contain those same deficiencies or not. So a woman can smell if a man is genetically compatible. Well, until she starts taking hormone pills to control birth. Just so you know, a man's sense of smell is the same way. Sometimes a woman will step close to you and you'll smell her and you go, oh my God, that is a wretched stench. And sometimes a woman will be standing right next to you, sweating, and she smells good. Like, Jesus. Fucking, she smells basically the same as the last lady, but it's just a little bit different. And that little bit of different makes it pleasant for some reason. Tina, did you see what you smoking? Pheromones. No, I'm not smoking pheromones. I know that's the way, not the way that you meant it. I just figured I'd make a joke out of it. This is a Marlboro Red 100. Yesterday was my birthday, and one of the ladies there at the Safeway bought me a pack of cigarettes and $25 worth of a $25 Shell gas card so I can get gas. Tina DeSilva typed, I didn't, LOL. You're right. I'm glad you got the joke, though. Or the play on words. But you're right, pheromones. It's not necessarily just pheromones. See, the pheromones denote a certain genetic marker. Each little bit of your body produces certain smells because it's working. There's one guy I know, he was telling me that he couldn't date a woman anymore because she smelled bad. He said even after she gets out of the shower, she just always smells bad. I don't know, I never really get that close to women. I'm not all up sniffing their hair and shit like that, you know? Tina DeSilva type, that was nice of her. It was. It totally was. I've been getting onto my channel. A lot of people claim they want to help. I could always use gas. If you don't feel comfortable sending a hobo money, then send me a Shell gas station gift card. You could send it to Sean Schwartz, P.O. Box 701, Tillamook, Oregon. No, you're not required to. A lot of people's solution is for a guy who has no money to move. The gas to move costs money. The money to get into a place takes money. You don't have that money because you're living on $800 a month. 400 of that is spent keeping your phone up and running so that you can call all the places that aren't going to help you anyway. And also making sure that you have a vehicle that's run and maintained and can get you to all the appointments to waste all of your fucking time at places that aren't going to help you anyway. Oh yeah, but if you don't go to those places, they pretend that you're not trying. And then again, if you do go to those places, they still pretend you're not trying because you have to go alone. Nobody makes the calls with you. Someone needs to make the calls with me. Who's pissed off about how the fuck I'm treated? Who sees this shit and says, I'm fucking done with this. How many of them racist shitheads do you think went home and got spanked? How many do you think went home and got a high five? They probably got a high five. I bet you them youngins drive by screaming that shit, then go home and pretend like I'm the one bullying. Oh, we were getting chased by some crazy guy. I know how fucking bullies play it off. Kind of like in school, you got the bully, right? And the bully bullies you every day. Hits you, pushes you into the locker. One day he punches you in the face, and you just had enough, and you punch him back, and you two get into a fight. Now, you weren't looking for a fight, you just had fucking enough. See, that's the thing with all these folks who want to pretend I'm a bad guy because I curse. No, I had enough, is what I did. I had enough of hoping that you would fucking listen, that you would shut up long enough to hear what I was saying. I shouldn't have had to say, Jesus fucking Christ, you stupid fucking cunt rags. Why don't you pull your heads out of your dumb asses and fucking breathe? You're deprived of oxygen, idiot. You think I like being that douchebag? No, I don't. It shouldn't be necessary for me to curse. Me cursing does not denote that I'm some evil person. It denotes that I'm not being fucking heard, you fucking stupid shits. I curse for emphasis. Because you didn't get the fucking point the first 150 times. Obviously not you in specific. It just tends to be the way people operate. When I say men and women aren't much different, you should look at the man-hater videos. A lot of people want to tell me that I'm a man-hater. Because I got videos about how fucked up a lot of the men that I've known in my lifetime are, and a lot of the fucked up shit they've done. Then I also get called a woman hater, because I speak up about how fucked up a lot of the women in my life have been. I get sick of the women in my life telling me it's all men's fault. Well, fine, I'll blame all women. Does that feel better? I'm tired of men in my life blaming everything on women. Well, I'll blame everything on men. Does that make you feel better? No, it gets you defensive. Kind of like when they say if somebody's bullying you, you're supposed to go to your bully and tell him how it makes you feel and ask him to stop. Yeah, that doesn't result in them stopping. It results in them getting defensive and getting even more bullyish. And of course, running around and whining to whoever will listen that you're a horrible person because you fucking confronted them for bullying you. So when you're in junior high school, middle school, whatever, that's about the time that you're going to be more than likely getting into fights with other boys. It's usually going to be over stupid shit, like some girl who thinks it's funny to kick you in the nuts. Or some girl who thinks that you're ugly, so she just won't leave you alone. But she's pretty, so there's guys who have crushes on her, and since she doesn't like you, they doesn't like you. And then you got the bullies with parents. You know the ones. You've been hit by this kid fucking every day for the last week. You finally get fed up with it. He fucking punches you at the wrong fucking time, and you hit him back. Well, your parents don't show up. They don't give a shit. If they do, they're going to show up, and the first thing that they do is start yelling at you in front of a principal. or a vice principal, or whatever school administration you have to go talk to. But it always seems to be the boys that have a single fat mom who are the biggest problems. What happens with these men, these young boys, who have a single fat mother? Well, first of all, this dumb cow tried to man trap a man. He didn't want to fucking stick around with her shitty fucking attitude, even if she did have a kid with him. Some of these kids got dads that care about them, but that fat hoe staying in the way because she didn't get what she wanted right when she wanted it. And then she feels sorry for herself and wants to fucking eat herself to death. And then her son is the only man in her life, and poor her, that's all she's got. That poor dumb fat lady. So when her son, the bully, bullies you to the point that you defend yourself when you're both sitting there in front of the principal or vice principal, and that fat lady comes in, and my son would never do anything wrong. My son wouldn't do that. My son's a perfect angel. Suck a fucking... Insert whatever you want there. You like how I put that? Quite inventive. Anyway, I told Gary I'd be here in 10 minutes, and I was 8 minutes late. And that was how long ago? 58 minutes ago. That I typed, do you have an ETA? Still says not delivered yet, tap for options. I let him know where my storage unit was. He typed to me at 11:16, heading to storage now. I typed KK, I'll be there in 10. He typed OK. I typed I'm here. And then it says, do you have an ETA? I might grab a coffee if it's going to be a while. Waiting until Gary Tillamook is online. Well, it doesn't seem like he's coming, does it? He lives up there close to where my camp is, like within a couple of miles of it. Alright. I better go to the other end of town. There's no reason for me to just sit here. Take me to Tillamook Sporting Goods.
Alright, Tillamook Sporting Goods. Let's go.
I haven't been down to Tillamook Sporting Goods for a while, but I should. All the people that are there are nice to me. The one guy that did kind of come across as racist during one conversation that was held there, I wasn't sure, and I had to go back and kind of ask him about it. There was a customer who was wanting to be really, really super racist, and this guy really seemed like he was defending black people, but it seemed like he wasn't exactly disagreeing when I felt he should have. And the guy fucking hates racism. He says, I have to fucking bite my tongue when those guys come in here. You know, there's people like that of every sort. I realize they make us look bad. I realize they make other people look bad. And I do try to be mindful of it, and I'm glad you were paying attention. Like, yeah, well, I guess you're welcome for paying attention and deciding you weren't a racist. But I did have to ask him about it, you know? I mean, some of the things the other guy was saying was very off the wall, even outright hostile at times. And although the feller didn't check him on it, that's kind of what made me wonder. And there was a couple of things that he was saying about some black people that he knew once. He's like, yeah, I knew some people. When he was telling that story, it reminded me of some people. And, you know, it wasn't the fact that they were black that made me think about it. But yeah, you're right. I can see how that works. And it's not like I have in-depth conversations with these people. I go in and I buy something. I make some odd conversation or some off-the-wall jokes, or, you know, try to lighten the mood. But I also do want to know about my community, the community that I'm in, my safety and the safety of those around me, the tendencies of police officers and which police officers I need to go to if there's a problem. And, of course, the one golden egg, golden dragon, golden whatever, the golden teacup. What have I been searching for this entire time? From one end of the country to another. From Chesapeake, Virginia to Tacoma, Washington, and many places in between. There's no good cops. Some of them might pretend to give a shit until they hear that there's officers that were involved who didn't do their jobs. And then it's mentally ill, mentally ill, mentally ill. That's why all cops are bad. They automatically assume. Automatically. Because you're telling on a police officer, they're automatically going to retaliate against you by treating you with disrespect. That's the first thing they're gonna do. Then they're gonna bully you and tell you it's not illegal. Try to turn them in, they'll bully you more. They'll tell you to get a hold of a bunch of places and tell you to go right back to the department you're trying to turn in. The people at that department say they can't investigate themselves. I gotta go to the state troopers. State troopers say they don't police the police. I have to go back to the department that just sent me to the state troopers. They all start playing stupid, start playing head games. God bless America, right? Well, looks like someone's been
right onto 4th Street.
cleaning up the property over here that young man fucked up. I'm glad my stuff is gone. I'm glad I grabbed my stuff out of there before this happened. That's because I'm able to read a situation. Look at how many situations I was able to sidestep because I was able to read the situation. Where you guys are a bunch of idiots. Look at how many times I was bullied into doing things that I knew were not a good idea. But people promised that they would help me if I did these things. Then again, I'm in the situation. That means I know more about the situation and I'm able to read the situation better than you are. I also pay attention to my surroundings and to human behavior. People are shitty. They're selfish and petty and get jealous over trivial shit. Of course, the more poor you are, the less trivial what little you have is to you. When you got 400 horses, yeah, you might have a favorite, but you got 400 horses. When you've got one horse, that's all you can afford, you bond with that horse. That horse becomes family.
Continue for 1 mile.
When your farm horse dies, you cry. when that lady with 400 horses, she's probably a breeder. She probably has quarter horses. Possibly even Arabians. When her favorite horse dies, there's one to replace it. You might cry because the horse was worth $2.5 million and you wanted to get a couple more years worth of studding out of him. But it ain't like that mutt farm horse that that poor girl loved so much. To a judge, it's just a horse. If that rich woman decides to steal that farm horse, she can win in court because she's got money. That poor girl, she's just going to have to cry herself into the grave. She's never going to have the money to get her horse back. That's the reality of capitalism and communism. All right, let me see if I can find my card here. I'm going to need help. I am technologically inept, and this is the first time I've gotten one of these here gift cards.
No worries. So those gift cards are pretty easy.
I have to scratch out the number, right?
Yeah.
Nope.
You don't even need a number.
Oh my
All
God.
it is, put in, you want the whole amount, right?
Yep.
Card in. Move it. Hit enter if you want the full amount on your card. Alright, it's good to go. It's a lot simpler than regular cards and stuff.
Oh, it's good that you helped me because I was going to come in and ask.
That's okay. I got 6 more checks for the $1 off. Yeah, I just need you to give me a second. I need to.
Yeah, and then go out at $1. Yeah, we'll do that. Chippy, do me a favor.
Yeah, the bad thing is I had 30 cents off a gallon the first time. This time I don't.
That gentleman out here just came out and showed me how to use the card. Show him thank you for me.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm kind of a technological dumbass.
No problem. We all are.
Alright. Well, this video is over 2 hours long. I'm sorry for making such a long one. But as y'all know, I try to record 24/7 if I can. A lot of people are predatory towards the homeless. A lot of people make the assumption that we're all druggies out here. And then, of course, we're sent to services that primarily help out the druggies. And there's a lot of incentive to help out those who are on drugs. But people like me who don't do drugs, there's no priority for people like us. There's just too much extra to be made. When you can call them mentally ill and claim they're on drugs, then it's therapy, therapy, therapy. A bunch of dinky programs that don't actually help anybody, they just eat up fucking time. So what you're doing is eating up the time of the victim, but you're not helping them to have the resources to turn in their predators, and you're not helping them to get those resources or help them to turn in the predators. Here shortly they're going to have food over at the First Christian Church, and I don't really feel comfortable there or safe there. But there's a lady there who keeps inviting me back. She's pretty insistent. Matter of fact, if she doesn't see me there, I get bitched at. I don't take it as an insult. I take it with a grain of salt. I also don't like being bitched at because she's nice to me. She talks to me. And you'd be surprised how much that actually fucking makes a difference to a guy. Natalie paid attention to me. And she didn't like the fact that I said that. Because that made it seem like I was entertainment, and I'm not. That's what she typed at me. But look at the reality of the situation. There's a bunch of people that are dead.
400 feet, turn right onto Stillwell Avenue. Turn right onto Stillwell Avenue.
If it hadn't been for that Christie lady, I would not have nearly a full tank of gas. And I used up a lot of gas. I used up that full 25, and I'm still not to the full tank. I'm close, though.
Turn right onto Stillwell Avenue, then turn right onto First Street. In 400 feet, turn left onto Fifth Street.
At least I know this stuff's charged up, right?
Turn left onto Fifth Street. In 600 feet, turn left onto Pacific Avenue.
See, told you I was a shitty driver. God damn, this thing is just getting rougher and rougher sounding, ain't it? Oh, there's that smell of cotton candy. Must have stirred up the tank a little bit. faucet. Just straighten her out without running into anything. All right. Let's see if Gary's messaged me back. It might just be the area. He might have tried messaging me back, and it's just shitty service over there. No. And it still won't let me deliver it either, because he's out of service. Not delivered yet. Tap for options. We tried that earlier, didn't we? A couple of times. Well, whatever it is, life happens. Now that screenshot on the front of this. That day was the day I became a full-on refugee. That was the last time I had a friend or a family member that I actually thought gave a shit. The last time I had a friend or family member that didn't just talk over everything that I said. Because the only friend in my entire life who ever actually tried understanding that I need help. I actually need help. If somebody can reach everything on the goddamn counter from a wheelchair, right? They don't need you to grab shit off the counter for them. That's not necessary. They need help with what somebody in a wheelchair needs help with. Now, what would that be? Maybe you should ask someone in a wheelchair what help they need. If somebody's got legs but no arms, getting a wheelchair and telling them to get the shit off the counter themselves. Well, as much as it may be just impersonal to you, it's very personal to the person that you just took the fuck advantage of and set up for goddamn failure as help. You're not going to factor in the time and energy that it took for them to go see you or to jump through all the hoops to get the help that they were promised, for you to do the opposite of help them how they need. You're going to pretend that they need to be in a wheelchair. Next thing you know, you're attaching a bunch of wheelchair access to their fucking house, a bunch of handrails. What the fuck good is a goddamn handrail going to do for somebody who ain't got no arms? You go, oh, I understand. He doesn't need a wheelchair. He doesn't have mobility issues. Well, hold on a second. Nobody said he doesn't have mobility issues. But you're ignoring the major fucking elephant in the goddamn room of he has no arms. So then you go, so he does need a wheelchair. He just needs one with one of them little hand knobbies so he can drive, right? No, he doesn't need a little hand jobby on a wheelchair. Well, we can't help you then. I don't understand. I don't understand. You say he's disabled, but he doesn't need a wheelchair. You say he's disabled, but he doesn't need mobility. But then he does need mobility. Well, you're talking in circles now. No, I'm telling you straight up, dude ain't got no goddamn arms. What fucking good is a handrail gonna do him? What good is spending $30,000 on handrails gonna do him? What good is sending him to fucking therapy when people take advantage of him because you don't have any arms? What good is fucking therapy gonna do? If his neighbor assaults him every single day because his neighbor knows that he can't swing back because he ain't got no fucking arms, what good are the fucking handrails doing that motherfucker? None! Meanwhile, the next door neighbor likes beating on him. Shit, he can grab a hold of that fucking handrail and use it as balance to put a good fucking solid heel into the face of the dude with no arms. Then you say, oh, well, we can give you some drugs. Are you in pain? We'll give you some drugs. Well, that doesn't do anything about the fucking problem here. You're trying to fix the fact that I got no arms by installing handrails and trying to force me into a wheelchair and telling me if I'm not in a wheelchair, I'm not disabled. Holy fucking Christ. Meanwhile, he ain't got no goddamn arms. How's he gonna fucking push the wheelchair? What goddamn good is that gonna do him? He can walk just fine. He can't push a wheelchair. He's got no arms. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna hire somebody to push him around in a wheelchair. Fucking stupid. And then, well, you should take medications for that. Oh, you're having problems writing things? Well, you know, I got carpal tunnel and sometimes I shake and can't hold a pen. You know, you could take medications for that and then you might be able to write. Fucking Christ. Or then there's the, oh, well, you know, I saw this thing on the Discovery Channel where this guy was changing his baby's diaper with his feet. Well, thank you, I guess. What good does that do me? Well, you think I got that kind of dexterity? Maybe if I practice a bunch. Of course, my toes been crushed and smashed and fucking broken repeatedly. My toes don't move right. They don't work right. And we got pedophiles like Wolnez, child molesters. He don't like being called that back, does he? Of course not. But he expects me just to take his fucking abuse. What a worthless goddamn piece of shit. But it's okay. I don't have a vagina, so it's okay to assault me. I got to take care of it myself. None of these services we pay taxes for do I actually have actual access to. I have access to the bullshit version. Oh, I have to do my job for this lady. First of all, she's a woman, so people care. Second of all, she's got kids, so people care. Third of all, her mom came in with her, which means that we could have a legal fucking issue if we don't do our fucking jobs. They don't look at the reality of the situation, that the grandma and the mother are both fucking strung out on methamphetamines. The reason they ain't got no goddamn money and are going in there for services isn't because they need their kids fed. It's because they can use their kids to get a bunch of money. But you're taught that because they're females, they're victims. Then a homeless male who's actually been victimized into homelessness, you're like, oh, well, we don't have those kind of services. Have you tried Tides of Change? I have a friend over at CARE. Have you tried there? The reason that men need women to defend us is because women don't have to take no for an answer. A woman can walk right through a restraining order, a protection order, at will, without consequences, without fear of consequences. I've seen it repeatedly. When a woman does something fucked up and gets a man actually hurt, all she's got to do is pretend that he might hurt her, and she'll magically win every fucking time. And the prettier she is, the more likely it is. When the judge is sitting there thinking about fucking a 19-year-old girl, he's not listening to what she's saying or what you're saying. He's not thinking about whether it's right or wrong. He's not thinking about what he's legally required to do. He's thinking to himself, if I give this girl exactly what she wants, maybe there's some off chance that she'll come over here and suck my dick. Maybe I'll meet her at the grocery store and she'll give me a thank you, BJ. And how many judges have actually done that? Hundreds. Just in the last 2 decades, we have arrested hundreds of our own judges for shit like that. Hundreds. And police officers, and prosecutors, defense attorneys, public pretenders. Oh yeah, but if anybody tells on those pieces of shit, you pretend that they're schizophrenic nut jobs talking about flying around on dragons, launching fire, and fucking destroying the unicorn colony with the trolls, and fucking crazy shit like that. Must be alien Illuminati butt rays changing everyone's brains. Now that's some schizophrenic, delusional, goddamn nut job bullshit there.